Today, we're diving into a blueprint for community transformation. It all kicks off with this really powerful idea. What if the very thing that's poisoning a village's water could actually be the key to building its future? Sounds crazy, right? Well, let's break it down.
I mean, listen to that. A place that was condemned to grow nothing is now producing almost 3 times the national average for maize. That's what this is all about. It's a story of turning the impossible into something truly incredible. It shows how if you can just solve one core problem, in this case, water, you can unlock this massive wave of abundance. We're talking food, energy, opportunity, everything, for a community that a lot of people had just completely written off.
All right, so let's get right to the heart of the problem here. We're talking about Lake Victoria. It's this huge, massive source of fresh water. But here's the crazy thing, the paradox of it all. For the communities that live right there on its shores, the very people who depend on it, that water is also a source of danger. It's right there, but it's just not safe to use. So what's going on?
Well, to solve a problem like this, you really have to understand what you're up against. The water isn't just dirty in one way. It's actually contaminated in 3 totally different ways. You've got your physical stuff, right? Dirt, algae, leaves, the chunky bits. Then you've got the biological threats, bacteria, viruses, the stuff that makes you sick. And finally, you have chemical contaminants, like pesticides. The key thing to get here is that you can't just use one tool to fix all 3. Each one needs its own specific solution.
And this quote, this just hits the nail on the head. Imagine trying to catch a mosquito with a fishing net. It's kind of like that, but on a microscopic scale. A standard filter, its holes might be, say, 1,000 nanometers wide. But these chemical toxins we're talking about, they're tiny, like 1 or 2 nanometers. It's just simple physics, right? The toxins are going to sail right through those big holes. So you can see why a much, much smarter system is needed. Okay, so how do you solve a problem like that? Well, the team in Sori came up with this brilliant system that tackles the water problem layer by layer. And the truly genius part is where they start. Not with some super expensive high-tech gadget, but with simple, natural materials that do most of the heavy lifting for them. So check this out. The first piece of the puzzle is this amazing 4-stage pre-filter. Before the water ever even gets near a manufactured high-tech part, it flows through these natural layers. First, rocks to get the big stuff out. Then, gravel for the smaller sediment. Then sand, which starts to trap the biological gunk. And finally, decomposed granite, which is really just super fine weathered rock to kind of polish the water. Each step naturally cleans the water a little bit more. And here's why that's so important. It protects the really expensive filters that come later. And get this is the key takeaway. Just these simple, natural stages remove up to 97% of the physical dirt and gunk. 97%. So think about it. By the time the water finally reaches those fancy high-tech filters, almost all the stuff that would normally clog them up is already gone. It's such a simple idea, but it makes a massive difference. It means the filters last way, way longer, and that just slashes the costs.
Okay, now this next part is what makes the whole thing sustainable for the long haul. The system cleans itself. No, really, it has these sensors that can tell when a filter is starting to get clogged up, and when it does, it automatically triggers a backwash cycle to flush all that debris out. They call it the smart drain, and it's the key to keeping the whole operation running smoothly, without needing someone to stand there and babysit it 24/7.
And the impact of that one innovation, it's just huge. We're talking about eliminating thousands of hours of manual labor. Think of the difference. Instead of needing a person or multiple people to constantly watch and clean the filters, the system just handles it. And yeah, it's an investment up front, but that one-time cost pays for itself in less than a year. That's what makes a project like this actually manageable for the community itself.
So when you step back and look at the big picture, the benefits are just staggering. I mean, look at the cost. For the Sori municipal system, we're talking about less than a single penny per person per year. Compare that to the individual household filters people might use, which cost $4 to $8, and get this, they don't even remove the dangerous chemical threats. It's a no-brainer. This big community-wide approach is just way cheaper, way safer, and a whole lot more reliable for absolutely everyone.
Okay, so the clean water problem is solved. That's the foundation. Now, we can move to the next phase, which is where things get really exciting. Because this new, reliable source of clean water, it becomes the key that unlocks the next level: food security and real economic growth. And it all happens through a system called aquaponics. So what they do is channel that ultra-filtered water into this amazing, thriving aquaponics farm. But this isn't just about growing food. This thing is an economic engine. I mean, it's designed to create 6 to 10 new full-time jobs. It can produce up to 30,000 kilos of fish and 60,000 kilos of vegetables every year. And it generates over $100,000 in annual revenue. Oh, and the best part, the plants and fish themselves act as another layer of natural water filtration. It's a perfect cycle. All right, and just when you think it can't get any smarter, it does. You see, every single part of this model is designed to turn a problem into a product, and that absolutely includes waste. So let's look at how they take something nobody wants, organic waste, and turn it into a super valuable asset.
So, you know how traditional composting can be a real pain? You got to turn it constantly, check the temperature, it can smell. Well, forget all that. This project uses a process to create something called humisoil, and it's ridiculously simple. You just pile up any organic waste you have, add a special blend of bacteria, cover it up, and just walk away. That's it. 6 months later, you come back to this incredibly rich, valuable soil. No turning, no monitoring, no mess.
And check out the potential scale of this idea. We're not just talking about Sori's waste. If they started processing organic waste from the entire surrounding region, this system could generate up to $1.5 million in revenue every year. This is so much bigger than just waste management. This is a major local business.
But of course, for all of this amazing stuff to work, the water pumps, the smart filters, the aquaponics farms, it all needs one crucial thing: power. And not just any power. It needs clean, reliable, and locally owned energy. That's the engine that's going to drive this whole transformation forward.
And the solution is this absolutely brilliant concept called agrivoltaics. Here's the idea. You don't have to choose between having a solar farm or a crop field. You can have both on the exact same piece of land. You just install the solar panels high up above the farmland. So you get over 160% productivity from one plot of land. You're growing food below and generating clean electricity up above. It's incredible. Okay, so let's pull all these amazing pieces together, because this isn't just a random collection of cool projects, right? What we're looking at is a complete, totally integrated blueprint for community independence, for true self-sufficiency. What this integrated system does is create all these different independent streams of revenue. You've got money coming in from the aquaponics, from selling the humisoil, from selling surplus energy back to the grid, even from training and tourism. Having all those different sources is what builds a really strong, resilient local economy, one that isn't dangerously dependent on just one thing or on outside help. And this timeline, this is maybe the most powerful part of the whole plan. It shows the path to true community ownership. This isn't about charity, it's a partnership. See, investors provide the initial capital to get everything built. But as the system starts to make money, the community uses that profit to buy out the investors. It lays out this clear, step-by-step path where, in about 5 to 7 years, the community achieves 100% ownership of the entire $8.2 million infrastructure. They own it all.
So, there you have it. The technology is proven. The economics make perfect sense. The model clearly works. What Sori Village shows us is what's possible when we make a fundamental shift in our thinking, away from dependency and towards sovereignty, away from just managing problems and towards building these smart, integrated systems. The blueprint is right here. It exists. The only real question left is, who's next?